Hey guys, how's it going? Lots to discuss tonight. So I'll give a little bit of an update on the channel, what's been going on, what's going to be happening in the future. So obviously I came back from the Dallas Lone Star / The Show in Round Rock, Texas. You know, you guys got all the updates and all that good stuff. So now I'm going to be off to The Show next weekend, June the 6th, for the Costa Mesa show. And basically I'm going there more or less as a tourist. I'm going to be riding shotgun with Ravi Velnati of Final Audio, and just going to help him set up the room. Don't really think I'm going to be doing much in there, you know, maybe manning the second system, and you know, if he's got to step out, then you know, maybe look after it, but nothing heavy. Like, we still haven't really figured out the details and you know, all that good stuff. Had a few discussions with him about amplifiers, but it's another story for another video. Still don't have my finals. Been told I might get them at the end of this month, within the next few days. I doubt it. Most likely they'll be showing up at the dock in LA, and I'll be basically riding them back with me in the U-Haul. So they may get delivered to Los Angeles with all the other stuff. Let's see. Right now I'm not holding my breath about anything. But that aside, you know, you can obviously see I've done a few changes to the Maggies here. My buddy there, Michel Linschoten, I believe his last name. I'm going to put a post to his YouTube page. Well, him and I have been friendly for the last few years. He's got his YouTube channel. Like myself, he doesn't take it too seriously. But he's got a lot of good information on it, you know, and like myself, some of his videos hit real big and some of them don't. Same shit like on my channel, but, you know, and, you know, he's gone through the gamut. He did a whole series of stuff on Infinity speaker systems. He's the one that caught my open baffle debacles, where I copied the IRS, I think it was the version 2 or whatever. Basically it was, I didn't even mean to copy it, it just happened, right? But you guys saw all that stuff a few years ago. Anyhow, so Michael was doing a live stream, and I just happened to catch it yesterday on YouTube there as I was waiting for a work meeting to start. And so I was in the chat and he was on video, and then he kind of panned over to his LRSs, and I'm like, Michelle, what's the deal with the, you know, how are you holding those LRS pluses up? Because he bought them used, and they didn't have the proper stands. They had the ones that's the default, the factory ones that sit on the floor. Magna risers are $300 for a pair, right? For, you know. So he says, no, just go on Amazon and get these $25 TV stands. They bolt right up to the back of the Maggies. They've got the same arch shapes, and it was super easy. Put my hockey pucks underneath, because as you can see, Nancy and I got all the flooring done. It was a bitch and a half, but we got it done. She broke all the tiles out, and then there was cement stuck underneath. My buddy Greg lent me all the tools, saved us a ton of money. I can't thank him and Patty enough to lend us all the tools to get this done. And then we went over to our local, what's it called? Tiles and whatever store here in Phoenix, and we got the flooring, decent price. Nancy didn't like how I started doing it because I was leaving gaps everywhere, so she went and ripped out what I did and clicked everything in herself. And so yeah, I did all the cutting though, you know, and she did all the baseboards. I cut the baseboards up, put everything in new, and it's like, you know, it's like having a new living room, just putting the flooring in. Now, I put the sound treatment back up, and as you can see, I got rid of the fake bass traps. Those are my new fake bass traps, because the same Floors and Decors store now sells those vertical slats with the felt backing, and they're good quality, and they're like $100 a piece. Originally, I was gonna, I saw Giles McCoy's video how he lined his whole wall up. Well, I wanted a too dead of a sound in here. There's still a bit of an echo, which is okay for now. I mean, I'm gonna in the future put a small throw rug that's just gonna be the perimeter of the sofa and the coffee table, not too big. And I'm not gonna hang any treatment off the ceiling. Nancy scraped all the popcorn off. She was wearing a mask. So yeah, everything's like a nice clean, living room again. So right now I've just got the 3 diffusers, those 2 guys, and my 2 pads on the bottom half of the wall there. I added a couple of outlets in the back there, basically tapped off my 20 amp dedicated circuit for the stereo here, the 10 gauge stranded wire. Ran 2 outlets in the back there for the subs, because we still had that problem with the dancing lights. So all that said and done, that was good. Like I said, I'm still waiting for these fucking speakers to show up, and I'm hearing at the end of this month, so let's see, guys. But the one thing I did want to talk about was, I know I haven't reviewed this in 5 years, because Leo asked me to stop saying that I love blowing these things up all the time. Well, I'm not going to blow these up. So the cases were given to me by a customer of his. Leo lent me 2 modules to put in here, so these are not mine to keep. Leo's going to basically, this is going to be a demo pair. They're not for sale. So the other thing I'm going to be doing on this channel is kind of paying it forward a little bit. So a friend of my son's at his workplace, Johnny, he just got into vinyl and stuff, and he's got this crappy little Sony Bluetooth thing that his parents gave him. And hey, you got to start somewhere, right? I had a BSR turntable for so many years, so can't knock it, Anyhow, so I said, okay, Johnny, I'm gonna lend you these amps, Lukaczewski's LC1s, Thomas's TS34. So that way you can play with tubes and Class D GAN-FETs, right? Animal. Greg gave him his Project Bare Bones beginner turntable, the one we used at the turntable digital versus analog event there last year. My buddy Dave Hortland and I hosted it, where we took that same turntable, pimped the shit out of it. We put my $2,000 Benz Micro on it. Dave brought in these Nordost cables. I'd put RCA jacks directly onto the turntable, got rid of the stupid wiring that they had. So he's getting that turntable with the original Ortofon 5E that it came with. It's a piece of shit cartridge, but it's not a groove gouger. I already tested it here. Greg also gave me his Ortofon Bronze, and that fucking thing is playing everything back in mono. I checked the wiring, right? And my buddy Ben said maybe the plus and minus is out of phase, and that's what's causing everything to sum to mono. I can't bother to deal with it, but I don't know if Greg noticed it when he had it on the on his U-turn turntable or not. But anyhow, so I've got the cartridge mounted on the Lin because the DS audio circuit is done. It's working. I've almost got the money together to buy the cartridge from TMR, so that's coming up soon. And what else? I think that's it. So let's get back to the Orchard Audio. This is the Starkrimson 25. I kind of pimped it out a little bit. I basically put the Silvercraft XLR jack on the back. Since this is going to be a demo unit and it's not for sale, I also put the solid silver wire on the XLR path and on the speaker terminal outs. I left the what the fuck do you call these, WBT connectors? I'm not a fan of these, because when you put fork lugs on them, they're a shit show and a half, because they barely make contact. But it's okay. Most of the time I'm going to be using bananas on these anyways. So anyhow, let's get back to what these things sound like. I was fucking blown away, just like it was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, this is why I got rid of the PS Audio M700s and the M300, because of this guy, or its original version. Well, he's basically, like Emerald says, kicked it up so many notches. He's now got Coilcraft inductors on the output low pass filter. He's got a WEMA capacitor on the output filter, and he's increased the input gain a little bit to keep a lot of us happy that, you know, have low power preamps or direct driving or passive preamps. So that's all good. The one thing, and there is a disclaimer on his website, please do not use these little amplifiers on electrostatic speakers of any ilk. You can use them on planar magnetics like LRS pluses, my MMGs, you know, probably the bigger ones too. I haven't tried it on Ben's 1.7 Maggies, you know, or any big stuff like that, but that's okay. But what I heard coming out of this was tons of air around the instruments. The treble response was nice, and I had decent bass. Now, I haven't hooked these up to my Bose 901s, and I don't think I'm going to have time. You know, I'd be curious, though, if these could drive it, because they couldn't drive them 5 years ago. Because this is now, well, it always has been, a true 150 watt amplifier. Double check the ratings, but I think it's 150 watts at 4 ohms still. Maybe a little bit more, I'm not sure, which I got to check the website. But yeah, I mean, I was really, really impressed with this little guy, and I think Johnny's going to have a lot of fun with these, along with the Chesky speakers. And what else, guys? I mean, don't really have anything to rant and bitch about other than the fact my fucking speakers aren't here yet. Fuck, like I said, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Got $8,000 tied up in the fucking things, and I'm still waiting. On the turntable front, yeah, DS audio cartridge, you know, hopefully. I've been busy doing some Orchard audio rebuilds for some folks. This is all out of warranty stuff. A gentleman in Florida, he through Ernie over at Argent Pure, even though he's got no solid silver in the amp that I built him, he put his amp in Florida in his garage for 2 years with the intention of one day yanking it out and putting it back into his system. Of course, this is Florida, his garage, salt air got in there, and I've opened up a lot of amps, right? This thing was, all the screws were rusted, oxidized. I mean, it was nasty. And of course, when he went to go plug the thing in, he had blew one module, and the other module didn't work when I got it. So basically, he had to buy 2 new Ultras from Leo. Couldn't reuse a damn thing. I had to reuse the soft start, right? Because this had the Hypex power supplies, and so couldn't even use anything from the chassis, just the soft start. So I took the whole soft start, cables and all, dunked it into my electrosonic tank for about an hour on high heat, and just to get all the crud off of it, right? And so he doesn't have any future problems. But yeah, I put in new Ultra modules that he bought from Leo, wired it up for him, standard issue. You know, he's got the 2 power supplies. I was able to take the capacitors off of his board, put them on 2 purple boards that I had from previous builds. You know, I had a few things laying around. Because yeah, I couldn't even use the capacitor boards. Everything was salt air rotted right out. It was like a scene from a horror show. But yeah, he's got the amp back. He fired everything up. He's happier than a pig in shit. Then another customer of Leo's, he actually gave me these cases, and it's a long story. I don't really want to get into the details, but he has now a pair of Leo's Starkrimson monoblocks, but these are not the official builds. Okay, this is a build that I did as a favor, and it's basically got Argent Pure everything inside, including some table scraps that I had laying around. So he's got solid silver in there, just in the audio pads, not in the electrical pads. And, you know, I had Leo look at the pictures and stuff like that, because again, this is not a standard issue Orchard monoblocks. This is, you know, a one-shot deal kind of thing. It's a long story. So I did that for him, and then my buddy Greg now, Mr. Tubes, both of his fucking tube amps went for a crap. He's got this fake Dynaco that somebody built, and it died. The transimpedance thing, what I call the gutless wonder on his center channel, it died. So I said, Greg, stop fucking around with these old fucking tube fucking DIY shit, dude. So I gave him my 3-channel monster. Power supplies and all he had to do was buy 2 Ultra modules from Leo. I had an Ultra module that I repaired, right? So I threw that in, right? Because it was basically a scrap module. I managed to rescue it. And so he's happier than a pig in shit. So yeah, I've been spending all last week doing orchard rebuilds, all out of warranty stuff, you know. And so I'm not building amplifiers for Leo. So it's kind of like, you know, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in, you know. So yeah, again, like I said, I'm not in the Orchard Audio amp building business not anymore. I stopped all that shit. And Argent Pure, you know, Ernie's got tons of stock. So if anybody wants a silver wired pair of Argent Pure amps, smaller than the ones I got on the floor here, you know, give Ernie a call and he'll hook you up. Yeah, guys, that's about it for now. See you guys in California in about a week or so. Cheers and bye for now.